Hi, my name is Jamie Morrow, and today I will be doing my screen time signature project, which focuses on the main issue of children using smartphones. Over 95% of teens between the ages of 12 and 17 years old are online, and 75% of teens access the internet on cell phones, tablets, and other mobile devices. By the age of 12, over 70% of kids own their own smartphone. Some of the side effects of excessive cell phone use include depression. 2.7 times higher rates of depression were found in frequent social media users over less frequent users. Anxiety. Anxiety can be caused by constantly waiting on a notification or by withdrawing from the devices. Insomnia can be caused by not being able to unplug at the end of the night and also from staring at the screen shortly before bed. Suicide, which research has found that teens who spend 5 or more hours per day on their devices are 71% more likely to be at risk for suicide. Bullying occurs a lot in this age group because they feel anonymous, because it is considered a faceless communication. Obesity can also be an issue because children who spend more than 5 hours a day in front of screens are 43% more likely to be obese. Inappropriate exposure is a very big risk factor because 75% of children are willing to share personal information online about themselves and their family in exchange for goods or services. And 1 in 5 U.S. teenagers say that they have received unwanted sexual solicitations via social media. Relationship stress can be caused by not communicating in person or spending quality time with loved ones because so much time is being spent on devices. Inability to focus or complete a task and constantly connected. These last two are pretty self-evident. So many children are distracted by their devices and cannot stand to be not constantly connected to them. There are a few reasons why this is hard to change. For one, it's being socially acceptable. Using our cell phones during all activities of our day, especially for children, have become acceptable and not much is being done to change it. It's acceptable for children to use it, when they're sitting down at the dinner table, when they're having conversations with their family or friends, when they should be doing schoolwork or when they instead should be playing outside. We as parents also like easy access to our children. We love the idea of being able to reach our children anytime that we may need to, so we are more likely to give them a cell phone at a much earlier age than what they could possibly handle. The last reason why it would be hard to change is because it's also a cultural norm. Cell phone use for all ages has become a cultural norm in the US and in many other countries. Some of the things that can be done to help decrease children using cell phones would be to track their cell phone use, to have the children complete a cell phone compulsion test. This will help let you know if in fact they may have an addiction and if maybe they need to seek counseling. They can also do a profile of mood states that can let you keep track of whether or not, they are depressed or they are anxious or, basically what their overall mood state is. The Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index also lets you know what type of sleep your children are getting, whether it's quality sleep and whether or not cell phones are interfering or causing an issue with this sleep. The International Physical Activity Questionnaire, or the IPAC, this is a great way to determine if the cell phone use is in fact making your children sedentary and if you need to increase how much physical activity they are getting pretty much anywhere, indoors, outdoors, wherever it is possible to increase their physical activity level. You can then analyze these results You can do it as a family, especially, if you're going to restrict things, like setting time limits on certain applications or just time limits overall on how long they can use their cell phone. Deleting social media would also be a great way to decrease the amount of time that they spend on cell phones. And another great thing is to increase time outdoors. This is something that I feel is definitely underrated, but we definitely need to get children back to doing. A lot of the side effects that children get from having excessive cell phone use could actually be rectified if they spent more time in nature. Less than 10% of all children spend time outside daily. To me, this is a very odd number, considering as a child, the majority of my childhood was spent outside. But some of the benefits of nature is that it relieves stress and anxiety. It can improve their mood, can lower blood pressure. It can increase ability to focus. It improves sleep. It increases energy levels, boosts the immune system, and can also increase quality time. This can be spent, with friends, family, but overall, you guys would be making memories, not texting or taking selfies or, reading or viewing what the next and latest meme is. So there are a lot of benefits to nature, especially, from everything that I learned in my class, Can You Escape the Matrix? The Nature Fix was a very eye-opening book, and it definitely showed me why I've always been naturally drawn to nature when I feel overstressed or overwhelmed. And I myself cut back my cell phone and digital use and did my very best to increase my the amount of nature that I was being able to enjoy on a weekly basis. And I definitely feel like it made a difference in my life, and I definitely feel like it made a difference in my children's life as well. Hi, Melody.
Hi, Melody.
I would like it if you could go ahead and introduce yourself for all of our listeners.
Sure. My name is Melody Hill. I'm a licensed clinical counselor.
And how long have you been a licensed professional clinical counselor, Melody?
15 years.
Awesome. So that means you probably have a lot of experience
with children.
I would say.
Okay, perfect. So
basically, what's going to go on in this mini interview is I'm going to go ahead and ask you two questions that are going to be based off the PowerPoint slideshow that I had sent you earlier.
If you could go ahead and answer those questions, that would make things a lot easier.
The first question I'm going to ask
do you
is,
think
do you
cell
think cell
phone
phone
use
use should be restricted in children?
Yes, definitely. And there's a lot of noted earlier. Children have growing minds that aren't getting constant excessive use of cell phones. And their time better spent outdoors or socializing away doesn't involve electronics.
Okay. What do you think about my analysis and my proposed interventions?
Really, I definitely agree. You really have a good analysis. I think it's important to point out again that less than 10% of kids spend time outside daily. That's just so sad. Much of the time, a kid spend outside is now replaced with time on an electronic device. This can cause severe issues, including depression, anxiety, and obesity, and even insomnia. I'm a really firm believer in the way to get my pledge.
What would be the wait until 8th nationwide pledge?
Oh, okay. This basically means waiting to allow your child to have access to a cell phone until they're in the 8th grade. Studies have shown that the adverse side effects tend to lessen the longer you wait to give a kid a cell phone. I would also really recommend that the child find a family phone agreement and be held to that agreement at all times.
Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Yeah, I'd like to also add that outdoor time should definitely be increased. And the parent or responsible adult should monitor the child for signs of addiction to these electronics, and they should monitor all social media applications and all communications for the child's safety.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Melody. It was definitely a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope you have a great day.
I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
After my interview with Melody Hill, where I learned about Wait Until 8th, which apparently is a nationwide pledge. This pledge is geared towards not allowing children to have a cell phone until they reach 8th grade or turn 14 years old. A couple of other things that Melody did mention that would be great in reducing children using cell phones would be having the children sign a family phone agreement and holding the child responsible if they break the agreement. Another great thing would be to increase their outdoor time, as well as monitor for signs of addiction and monitor their social media and all communications. Again, one of the things that stick out the most to me is definitely increasing their outdoor time. It's personal to me because the majority of my childhood, like I stated beforehand, was spent outside, exploring creeks and woods and climbing trees and breaking arms and getting dirty and just having fun, with my friends. And that's also how I made friends. It's kind of foreign to me now, seeing children on cell phones all the time. If I walk into a room, a lot of times I see children not having conversations. Instead, they're looking at their screens and laughing because it's easier for them to text each other than it is for them to have a verbal conversation. So some of these things, really stand out to me, and that's why it's a very big problem to me to see, children using cell phones, and why we need to decrease the amount that children do use cell phones, but also restrict the age that they should be allowed to have the cell phones. I feel like, social media and stuff like that should not be allowed until the child turns 18. But apparently, some professionals may disagree and they start to believe that around the age of 14, this is more appropriate. Again, this decision would have to be based, on what's best for each individual family, for each parent, to assess their own child. But I do feel like there does need to be certain guidelines that all parents at least go by, and that all parents who have a young child and they're thinking about getting them a cell phone, that they should definitely look up the Wait Until 8th nationwide pledge, and that they should definitely do all that they can to try to decrease the amount of time that their children spend on their cell phone. A lot of my thoughts and feelings are based off of the reading called The Nature Fix, which we did read in my course, Can You Escape the Matrix, at Hiram College. But this is also a list of my works cited, where this basically shows where I got a lot of the facts that I came across throughout my PowerPoint presentation. So you can feel free to go ahead and take a look and check them all out for yourself.